We made it. Looks like we made it. Ooh, I'm finally live. Oh my goodness. Yesterday was crazy. I think everybody tried to get on YouTube yesterday. How's the sound? Can people hear me okay? Let me know. Hi, Christine. Hi, Ann Dillon. Good to see you. Hi, Exoniel118. Eileen and Richard are here. Good to see you both. Claudia Veras. Hi, Claudia. Thank you for being here. Olga Para. Hi, Para. Hello. So everybody can hear me. Excuse me. Most of the cough is gone. You'll be happy to hear. So it is hot topics. It is Hot Topics coming to you live from Friday. Usually we have Hot Topics on Thursdays. But alas, excuse me, it was not in the cards. It was not in the cards. I could not get on the stream. I tried. I wept. I pleaded with the internet gods. But alas, I think there were just too, I just think the media went crazy yesterday. But what I did do is I did a remote view, and I put the remote view up. Anyway, so if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, it would be great if you could like, subscribe. Hi, Desiree Robato. So, hi, Joyce. Pietros, good to see you. Hi, Joel. Joel Tilson is in the house. Yeah, I couldn't get on. You got to go with the flow. If I have a melt, excuse me, try not to cough that way. If I have a meltdown, how's that going to matter, right? It's not going to fix anything, right? So I'm trying to be like a stoic. A stoic's attitude is, well, I have no control over this situation. I'm just not going to stress about it. So instead, I watched Midas Touch. I don't think this is an allergy. I got over a flu, a cold, and I think that this is just residual. How are people feeling? Good? I want to give a special shout out to all of the new members to the channel. Thank you so much for being a member, sponsoring this channel, supporting the channel, helping me do what I do. I want to give a special shout out to Neja, excuse me, Neja Mason. Hi, Neja. Thank you for remembering up. Donna Ackles, thank you so much. And Lisa R. for being a benefactor extraordinaire. Thank you, Lisa. Much appreciation for all you do. So while my voice warms up, why don't we go ahead and have a little bit of a conversation while people find the stream. If you can like and share, that'd be great. We only ask that you be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. Also, thank you to everyone who sent well wishes for me getting over the bug that I had, and also wishing me a happy birthday. I have turned the big 60. It has happened finally, and it's a rather existential crisis. 40 is bad, 60 is worse. No, it's very it's you're getting closer to your death date, right? Let's just keep it real, and that can cause you. I think it's we don't know how much time any of us has, but yeah, so it's something that you ponder as you get older, but. I had a very nice time on my 60th with my older sister. We went to the coast, and neither of us wanted to do anything but sleep, and maybe we did a couple walks. It was a very gentle time. I also got a couple gifts from some of you. Um, Thank you to the person who sent the flower tea gift. I believe the thank you notes are over there. I wanted to give a shout out to this person. Hold on, I have your thank you card, but I got a flower tea gift set. Isn't that nice? So I think this came through Amazon, and I love tea. I have tea about once or twice a day, and I guess the flower teas. Try not to make too much noise. The flower teas are very nice. I think it was it Eileen and Richard that sent me the flower tea last year. Was it? I used it all up too. Oops, this is really hard to open. Ah! Oh, sorry. Flower tea gift. Oh. I'm not very good at opening things. But anyway, this is the flower tea gift. Isn't that nice? Thought I had everything organized. Hold on a second. I have to find the name of the person that sent that. Thank you so much. I will have to get a thank you to you. Also to the person that sent me this beautiful scarf for my birthday. Thank you. This scarf was from Lenora. Thank you, Lenora, for the scarf. I got a scarf and I got a necklace too. And to the person who sent me the tea, I put your card somewhere and I'm going to have to find it. But thank you so much. If you're in the stream, be sure and give a shout out so that I can thank you properly. But anyway, so thank you to people who sent gifts. These things never work out the way we want them to. Maybe I put it down here somewhere. It was the information about the gift giver. Anyway, thank you. Just wanted to get that out of the way while people were showing up. It was a good birthday. Gosh, did I end up? I hope I didn't throw away. If anyone knows who gave me that tea set, please let me know so I can thank them, or the flower tea. So, what's everybody up to? Oh, the flower teas. Are these also from Eileen and Richard? If they are, thank you very much. Yeah, is this message? Oh, and you sent me earrings? Let me check. I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Anne. Uh, what they look like? I'm terrible because I get stuff and mail and then I put it on my office desk and then things get and I'm just very. It's not that I'm not extremely grateful. I am. I'm just. I don't know, the absent professor or something. So I apologize if I didn't give a shout out, but thank you, and I'm sure they're beautiful. Um, oh, I was wearing some recently. So those might have been yours, Anne. Oh, the autumn leaves. I thought I did give a shout out. Yes, I will wear them. Yes, they're beautiful. I love that stuff. Thank you. Autumn and Dylan sent autumn leaves, and I need to change up my earrings. I get lazy about that stuff. Well, let's turn the camera around, as they say. Be kind to all so that others can be kind to you too. Tell us where you're coming from, what you eating, what you drinking, what part of the world are you in? How's the weather? Hope you're not getting any of the tornadoes or the other crazy stuff that we've been seeing in the news. So, yeah, just tell me who you are. My name's Whimsy. I'm here in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. And we are just now starting to get the beautiful leaves and flowers starting to come up. I don't know, is everybody else starting to get the roses and all the blooms starting to happen? We're just starting to get the cherries. I think the cherries are some of the first, right? February, March. Looks like it's windy in Wisconsin. Carol, stay safe. I think I had a nightmare recently about the wind. Pamela Hathaway is in New Brunswick, Canada, a beautiful part of the world. I really want to visit that part of the world. Patricia is having a salad in Jupiter. Very nice. Uh, Diane T is sewing a mosaic quilt that looks like stained glass and drinking green tea. Hi, Diane. That sounds like a wonderful thing to be doing with your time. Doesn't that sound lovely? Doesn't that sound cozy? Just sipping your mint tea. Sounds rather cozy. For Cynthia blossoming in Redmond, Washington. Hi, Mary Hobbs. Oh, wow. Roses red and profusion pink tea roses. Lovely, Melissa Miller. 2 a.m. in Stockholm, Sweden, says Annika Lofa. Sedona about to heat up leftover shrimp and grits. Well, be careful. Can you heat that up safely? I don't know. I do think it sounds delicious though, shrimp and grits. That does sound rather yummy. Well, so the next question that historians are going to ask you now that my throat is cleared. Let's get to it. Do you remember where you were when you heard that the 45th president of the United States, had been indicted? Go. What will you tell your great grandchildren for what do they call it? Prosperity? What is it? Do you know where you were or what you were doing? Were you like munching on a tuna salad? I mean, is it a moment that will go down in history? Where do you think that posterity? Okay, posterity. Lying in bed watching YouTube, driving home from work. It was Whimsy, so you know Whimsy. I was contemplating what to eat, drink, or cleaning up from having eaten. I'm usually munching on something, or I'm in the middle of some project or something. I'm verklempt somehow. But yeah, I think I was putzing around the house, and I was listening to something, maybe NPR or something. Oh my goodness, you started screaming near a mural next to Bob Marley. Well, I'm sure he was there in spirit. Midas Touch, they do good work. I think, what are they, all lawyer brothers or something like that? It's very interesting. I think they're all lawyers, right? And didn't they work as defense attorney in Bakersfield, one of them, if I'm not mistaken? For the poor, because the prison in Bakersfield's only industry is the prison industry. That's the main employer. Can you imagine that? So yeah, the more prisoners, the better, because it means employment. I mean, it's just like it's a very dystopian world, Bakersfield. Yes, lawyer brothers. Okay, so I'm going to go to the comments section here because you guys also had some comments for me. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Going to open this up. Did everybody get to see the remote view last night of what it felt like for me to be Donald Trump going through the process of indictment, arraignment, etc.? It was really an interesting experience. And if you are learning empathy and if you are a heart-centered remote viewer or you're trying to learn the technique, imagine putting yourself in the skin of this person. Because when you think about it, HCRV is a type of self-hypnosis. We get ourselves into a relaxed state. We open our heart to become one with that person. For all intents and purposes, we are that person, right? So we are Donald Trump in the HCRV state, because in the HCRV state, you are one in a state of unconditional love with the target. So how do you think I felt as a professional empath being Donald Trump, going through the process, the degrading process of basically society saying you deserve to be, society needs to be protected from you? Isn't that the message when we lock people up? What do you think the psychological impact of that is going to be on this individual who is probably emotionally 2, 3 years old to be drugged through that experience? We're talking about someone who really is pretty mentally ill and probably only going to get worse as their physical health degenerates. I personally, as the target in last night's remote, felt as if I could not come back from that. Because my biggest fear in life is to not be humiliated, to not be the guy in the middle of the circle being humiliated by a bully and his friends. And that is precisely where he finds himself. He is the target. He is in the center of the circle, and everybody is pointing and laughing while he's being bullied in his mind. And now he is the loser, isn't he? So doesn't feel very good. How you can either fall into a really grand delusion to help you maybe pull out of that, which is what he has a habit of doing, or finding somebody else that can create a grand delusion for him. Grand delusion. But I think it's going to be very difficult for him to psychologically pull himself out of it. That's the profile I felt. That is how, I don't know, he's going to be in a very bad, this is a nightmare. No one wants to be publicly humiliated and called a loser and a creep and a sexual deviant who cheats on his pregnant wife and all the other creepy, awful, horrible associated with this, never mind the campaign finance and everything else. So I just see his mental health probably deteriorating pretty rapidly after Tuesday. And then I believe, based on how the energy looked with Georgia, that some kind of delay was requested because there was an overlap of witnesses between the January 6th investigation with Jack Smith and what was going on in Georgia. And I believe they requested to hold off on some stuff prior to speaking to some of, I think they speak to Lindsey Graham and a couple of the other people that had been witnesses in Georgia. And there may have been deals going on, but just as they had made deals with Cohen had to do deals with the state in order to avoid, he was talking, Robert Mueller was talking about, 40 years. So you see also with Trump's accountant, the flip. So this is another thing I would invite you to do as someone who is curious about the world of remote viewers and empaths, where we try to look at things, step back and look at things in the bigger picture, and then become one emotionally with that individual, and then step back and try and see it objectively versus their perspective. We look at things from many angles. But if you follow this energy, I think that where we're headed next is probably prosecutions against members of Congress that participated in January 6th. That seems to be where we're headed, because it goes back to the remotes we did several years ago, where Robert Mueller said that there were major investigations going on into bribery of members of Congress, judges being bribed. It was a huge problem in DC. And part of the way that they were bribing is with shell companies and crypto, so it couldn't be traced by the feds. So you had people in DC that were getting rich with undeclared money and making deals with questionable persons, some of whom were foreign governments, etc. So those were all part of existing investigations. One Guy was part of that, was a big donor to the CPAC. So it just feels to me like they've gone very far into this now. And what do I think? I just feel energetically like they're holding on Georgia. That's something to do with Jack Smith and cooperation between the Fed and the state. I think what we can do now, because I have a feeling we're going to get a ton of questions. We've already got a ton of questions. Is if I don't see your question, it can be restated by one of the moderators. Use lots of exclamation and question marks for me to see your question. We're going to do the empath prayer now, and then we will just blitz away as soon as I get the order. We don't do a community prayer, a community reading on Thursdays. We just do blitzes and remote views. All right, so would you guys like to do the empath prayer with me? That tastes good. It's watermelon flavored bubbly water. It's delicious. How does remote viewing differ from channeling? I think it's a way of channeling, because when you love somebody, you're energetically in their space. When you open yourself to energetic love and acceptance, you're in their space. So you first have to take care of yourself. If you look at HCRV, it's a 5-step technique we teach. And the third step is that you abide in a state of self-love, and you take care of yourself first. And many people choose to do that and not remote view, just so that they can get comfortable with steps 1, 2, and 3, grounding, centering, abiding in love. If you want to attempt to connect with another person in that state through love and through thoughts and through questions, etc., at that point, you're engaging in HCRV. You're attempting to make contact with somebody in a state of love and empathy, to listen to them so effectively you become them. You are them. Have you ever sat across a table and listened to somebody where you were so engrossed in what they had to say that you completely forgot yourself? And you'll never forget what they said. Time stopped. Yeah. So I guess Melissa would be similar to that. All right, let's do the empath prayer. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. All right, we're going to go as fast as we can. Blitz, blitz, blitz away. Again, I apologize for the cough. Hopefully it's on its way out. Boy, you guys are really excited. I'm seeing a ton of comments here. Okay. First question. Okay. Joel Tilson wants to know, Bragg is first, who is second? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of hold off with Florida, but that Florida could be next. Let's find out. Could be New York again. There's obstruction of justice. There are charges going on against members, people, lawyers that attempted to break the law or at that point engaged in a crime or became co-conspirators because of the actions of the lawyers. The lawyers have crossed the line, and the DOJ is starting to seriously prosecute the attorneys for Trump and for the January 6 rioters. And this thing that's happening with Weisselberg is a symptom of a bigger issue that's going on, from what I can see, which is that the DOJ had said when we had gone into the remote a couple months ago that their biggest obstruction at this, their biggest problem going forward in these cases was that they were bombarded by actions of obstruction bordering on criminal behavior by Trump's legal team. And so they had no choice but to begin to look at legally taking action against his lawyers. So this was something that had an impact also on investigations that were taking place in New York, from what I'm able to figure out here. So they were in, you're looking at a legal quandary of crime lawyers, partnerships that are coming to an end, and then justice coming in. I feel more actions coming by DOJ against Trump's attorneys, which is weakening Trump. And it looks like a crime syndication. And that leads me to think that some kind of request to hold off in Georgia because of this overlap. But that's what that's what I'm getting. And you've got in the cards, you've got this investigation into this this kind of codependent relationship. So today, Ivanka Trump, the only statement she would make is that I love my father. She waited 24 hours and then she made a statement about how she loves her father. I think it's very obvious where we're headed with Ivanka Trump. I think it's very obvious that one of the reasons why there were delays was because I think that one of the reasons why there were delays was because of cooperating witnesses. And I think one of the cooperating witnesses is Ivanka Trump. And I think the reason that we know that is because of the information we got from Michael Cohen when Michael Cohen was a target. It's very sad. It's very sad to see where this is headed. So, in answer to your question, Joel, it possibly could be that Georgia is ready. It's really going to be up to, I think there's something going on with communication with DOJ and with Jack Smith. There's some type of coordination going on. But yeah, I would think more than likely, just intellectually, it would be likely that it would be Georgia. All right, next question. Will Barr be facing justice for obstruction of justice? This goes back to the other interesting question, and that is, was the DOJ complicit? This is so serious. We now have genocide happening in Ukraine. None of this stuff had to happen if we had had strong policies, if we had but the way that Trump acquiesced to Russia, to who is complicit in this? I guess that's my question. If what Joel is asking about Barr facing justice for the fact that he possibly weaponized the DOJ, they minimized, trivialized, discard, debased. Now Barr is saying that he really believed there was this conspiracy by the left. He thought it was real. So his own religious or personal biases biased him against the facts, basically, right? So let's see about the future of Bill Barr. If he had done the right thing, we would have had him impeached and removed, right? And January 6th wouldn't have had. A lot of stuff would not. There's a lot of people that blame Barr for what happened afterwards. There is a possible action taken, a complaint, either a complaint was filed. It's possible that some of the attorneys that were working for Bob Mueller filed a formal complaint, or some kind of complaint was filed. There's a legal complaint against Barr, yes. The law or justice looking into whether or not his actions were considered feasible at the time. So I think that they're trying to take Barr's license. I don't know a lot about this, but you've also got the other in relation, Ace of Swords, and then this is like a law license. This is the Torah. There is a refusal on the part of Barr to take personal responsibility for his behavior, and he's in some kind of psychological denial over what he's done. There's also investigations, from what I can see here, going on between the FBI and people that are taking bribes in government offices, and there may be some investigation into financial associations between Barr and other people. So they're also saying that it's been a long investigation into this, but yeah, he has some kind of a legal culpability. There's also a temperance card, so poor. That can be an issue of impulse control. It can be, temperance, sobriety. He used poor judgment. That's definitely where they're leaning. And some kind of decision. He may be in a situation where he can't legally practice, or some of his rights are stripped in the coming months. If he has does he have a law license? Because this almost looks like stripping him of his law license. And they're debating the law of whether what he's culpable of. But you see, this is why I think he may have had some financial stuff going on, because you've got this money. They're digging around for money regarding Barr and something that Barr does not want to cooperate with. So something's looking a little weird with Barr financially. And the other thing I would say about Barr is that there are people in the law that are defending and protecting him. Not every, so for that reason, it's going to be very difficult to see justice taken against Barr. But he is in trouble. Yeah. Okay, let us see what we've got here. What was Trump's mom's diagnosis? Oh, I think she had endometriosis and multiple miscarriages. And it's talked about in Mary's book. And I think she collapsed I think she had a miscarriage. She collapsed. She had to go to the hospital, and little Donnie was traumatized, and he didn't have his mother. And it became this imprint, psychological imprint. He wasn't allowed to cry or be upset that his mommy was sick. There's a whole thing about, his dad being an insensitive person. And he's always talking about that his father believed that Donald Trump's mother was from a lower class. They believed in eugenics because she was from a poor maid's family from Scotland. And so that she was considered the lower classes or inferior genetically. Yeah. And it's an interesting psychological profile of him. Okay, next question is coming from Maggie Who. Will Trump stay sane enough to go through all of his trials? I don't know, Maggie. I think that he's in a very bad way after Tuesday. Wouldn't you be? If you had that much ego and you were that terrified, you were that obsessed that you're scrambling for millions of dollars constantly just to keep your loser properties open so that you can brag that you have all these properties, even though you can't pay the bills to keep them open. So you're constantly scrounging for money. This is something that Weisselberg told us a few years ago, right? We did a remote, and he said the guy doesn't have any money because it costs so much money to keep all these buildings open. He has a lot of expensive toys. They're not making money. So he needs money to keep them open. All right. So what kind of mental state is he going to be in when everybody knows that? He's in a mental state of denial. I think he does suffer from, I've seen that he has panic attacks. For example, he had some serious panic attacks during the Mueller investigation. His denial. He's in a state of denial. A treasure trove of evidence lays against him. His hopes and fears no longer being in a position of power. The final outcome, the sun will come out, which is the sun of sanitation. It could be that he doesn't want information to come out regarding him. There are multiple cases against him, and the feds may choose not to go after every single case they have against him because there are multiple, and they may choose to lump multiple cases into one case for that reason, because there appear to be multiple investigations happening at one time. And some of the investigations will be put aside based on what I can find out. It looks like more charges and more. He's in probably in trouble also with the IRS. His final outcome is 3 of Swords. So I would say, and issues of his health, I would say he's not doing too good. Those are also stress cards, coronary artery disease, that sort of thing. It's not good. He needs to maybe take care of himself. That's right, Joel. Weisselberg has already flipped. with firing Trump's attorney. Yeah, and remember, the attorneys are having to get attorneys, so it's probably a good idea to get rid of those attorneys and get a real attorney. Okay, Jill, Linda, what does the Republican Party really think about all of this? Well, I think that Bill Barr really did believe, according to him, that it was a bunch of people bullying the president. He thought that the left it was a conspiracy to get the president. That's what he thought. So what do the Republicans in the House really think? I think that there is, after the indictment, but even before, there are a lot of Republicans that are quietly breathing a sigh of relief because of the amount of damage that this individual has brought the Republican Party. It feels to me like the time of Trump is over, and that the Republicans are. This is. I hate to use that analogy, but it's a dead horse. It's like dragging that. It's rather gruesome, but we've got to come up with a better analogy, I think. But so it's over. Trump brings nothing to the table, and I think that they feel like the era of Trump and the Republican Party. It's a very destructive thing that they've done. Knight of Pentacles, it goes nowhere. So the Republican Party is going nowhere. They won't get a lot of new members, and they've lost the enthusiasm of older members, and so it becomes an increasingly weakened party. Also, extremists are getting arrested. There are stricter penalties now for domestic terrorism. A lot of things, a lot of sweeping changes. When we went into the energy, it had said that it would take about 2 to 3 years for from the Biden administration, for the federal government to get some control over this, about 3 years. And you have this energy coming in the opposition to the January 6th pro-Republican, etc. So you have this energy coming in as opposition to the MAGA Republicans, and it's the energy of the Knight of Swords, and that is a swift action. It can be like a police raid. So this feels to me like there is a sweeping energy, like a tornado, that is headed towards the MAGA GOP, and it's probably coming from the federal government. And when it happens, it's going to happen quickly. It's going to be a swooping effect. And I think that there are Republicans that see the writing on the wall and can see this. That's what I predict, because it's over. They see the time of MAGA over, but you see this Knight of Swords coming. So the Knight of Swords is coming, and it's coming now. I think that we could be seeing some prosecutions, some public information about people who have flipped. And I think it's very telling what we heard from Ivanka. I love my father doesn't really tell us very much. Yeah, you love your father, but I'm cooperating with the feds. A crime is a crime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's obviously distancing herself from this. The truth is coming out. Archangel Michael. And then the wish has been granted to the people. So it just feels to me like it's a hollow victory, in the sense that the mental Trump enabled so many people. And so we go and we get rid of Trump, just like you get rid of Hitler. But look at all the people that were enthusiastically propping this individual up. And that's the bigger issue, is how did we get to this point? No, MAGA's finished. MAGA's finished. There's some real denial, maybe they survive as part of the 6% or 10% of the GOP in remote areas. And there's some real denial even when prosecutions start to happen. I do think that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, if they haven't flipped, could be facing prosecution because there is this investigation coming, I'm telling you. And I think we're going to start seeing more stuff coming out against the GOP as the January 6th investigation starts to wrap up. Interesting. Very, very interesting questions. So in terms of where are we at? What the Republicans think, I think a lot of them deep down are glad it's over. It looks to me like it's coming to an end. Oh, there was an interesting question there. See, it bounces and I can't find it. Okay. Oh, well, I think I'm losing some people's questions. Sorry. Oh, I hate this. All right. Will McCarthy be gone soon? All right. So somebody got mad at me because I said about 2.5 months I saw George Santos being gone. So it's been more than 2.5 months. Look, I'm usually right and I'm usually off. I'm not usually 100% on the time. I'm usually pretty good about the time. But no, I don't see George Santos staying. I think he evidently admitted to the crime and has to pay the victim back in Brazil. Nobody's 100%, you guys. None of the, but no, I don't see George. I don't think George Santos is going to be able to stay there. Somebody had asked about that and gotten mad because he's still there. Don't worry, he's not. I don't think he's going to finish his term. All right. Will McCarthy be gone soon? Let's take a look. Oh, thank you. Yes, I put one of my lights up here to help you guys with the visuals. I'm learning lighting. Yes, lighting is fun. Will McCarthy be gone soon? It's possible, yes, because I see indictments. Yeah. So if you have 2 or 3 people being removed, then McCarthy has a problem. There's restriction due to problems with the numbers. You can see here a restriction. Also, this is like DIN, the law, cold. Let me do one more throw. I think he's in trouble. And it always looks like he's weakened and that their party is weak because of prosecution of members of the GOP House. I don't even know how they would be able to get out of it. McCarthy. Well, but most of the Republicans are saying as long as they get to all of the agenda of what they thought that they were going to get to, mostly contracts for their constituents, etc., then as Republicans, they're fine with him. But I keep seeing this. The winds of change are coming. Remember, we've talked about how 2023, when you follow the energy of 2023, what do we call it? 2022 before was the accounting, right? So where are we now? We're at the accounting and then the First comes the accounting, and then comes the year of the what? Now, I guess mainstream media has started to pick up on it. Midas Touch was talking about this, that this is the year of the reckoning. Yeah, so this is the year of we had the accounting, we went through that, and now we have the reckoning. So the courts in Europe want to charge Putin for war crimes. People are being arrested. Trump has been indicted. So it's fulfilling that kind of destiny that we had talked about for 2023, that we witnessed all that gathering, and now it's the reckoning. Many cases. Oh, Rose Blue, you said there's 12 cases against Trump? Yeah. So it looked like they were going to bring them all together. I think he's going to get wiped out by the IRS. Other readers have said that. I agree with them. I think he's going to have to sell off properties that aren't making a profit anyway. In general, I think if people want to get off the Trump train and talk about something else like the economy, that's pretty interesting too. I mean, if you're looking at just what's going to be happening to housing in the coming years, in the next couple of years, because we cannot continue to live in a country where people cannot afford a place to live. So just seeing the rise in homelessness in major cities, and just how proactive many people are demanding that the president be proactive about affordable housing. It has to be one of his number one priorities going forward for the last of his term. And if he's reelected, is this idea of ending poverty is great, but also ending homelessness. Yeah. All right. With that note, cheers, everyone. Delicious. Watermelon bubbly. A bubbly water with watermelon. Very tasty. Yeah, Joel Tilson, I agree with you. I think that Trump's properties and assets are going to be, they're going to be taken all right. Oh, Love Rising in Nashville. That sounds nice. There's some good music out there. Oh, thank you, Miter Sanjita, for the donation. Shot out of a cannon since the indictment news. How about you? Oh, you shot out of a cannon. Good for you. All right, JR. Is Melania innocent, and will she ever face justice? Well, maybe she's a sexy spy. Who knows? What do you think? Maybe she is sexy Russian spy. Let's see about the future of Melania. Melania's future. Melania. Oops, hold on a second. She's worried about the indictment. She's worried about documents that her husband had her sign or agree to, or questionable activity. She had a hunch she should not be signing, or something came up that could be incriminating against her that she saw, that has her stressed out. So she's stressed. It has to do with something regarding his books or his finances. She knew something about it. Hopes and fears to flee thief. And the final outcome is the Ten of Swords. So she was somehow involved. Yes. She may have signed a document. I think more than likely she would cooperate with the investigation in order not to receive a prosecution. She would likely make a deal. But yeah, they're saying that she engaged in some stuff that she knew was illegal. Could be signing as a witness or signing as a wife financial documents that she had mixed feelings about. That's what it looks like. It's rather interesting. Oh, did you hear Finland is in NATO now? I think Finland got accepted. So that's good. All right. Joel Tilson, will Hunter Biden win his lawsuits for defamation? That was the question I was looking for. Hunter Biden's defamation lawsuits. He's very angry. He's very angry. I think they saw it as a joke. I think that it's like the reaction is much worse than they thought it was going to be. The truth is coming out. He won't back down until the truth comes out. He wants some kind of, yes, Hunter Biden will probably win. He has a strong case. And this goes back to the question that people had about if Harry Windsor would win his case against the Daily, against the Daily Mail. Doesn't look like Hunter Biden got in trouble for illegal activity. Looks like he won the case, that they were lying and the truth comes out because he had, Archangel Michael with him, which showed that he had the truth behind him. He was very angry. All right, so this is one question we got. And then I think we'll go ahead and close since my cough is still not 100% gone. All right. So, as you know, I think it was Prince Harry is suing the Daily Mail, and so is Elton John. Let's see what the outcome is. Let us see. Harry's lawsuit against the Daily Mail. A pox upon the tabloids, that's right. Well, I think this is what he means when he talks about, free speech. It's not that Harry is against free speech. He's against people having organized harassment and lying and terrorizing and stalking and threatening his wife. It's been terrorized by the press. They have the power on their side. He wants it to stop. There's the evidence. So they're using First Amendment. They can say whatever they like. He's heartbroken. They're doing well. Betrayal. He's going to have to prove some kind of injury in order to win because of free speech. It's very frustrating. I'll try again later, but right now it's looking like the Daily could win on grounds of free speech. There is evidence and the courts, but Harry is not happy. All right, everyone. Oh, Equus333 said that I have a happy birthday. 60s are fun. 70 is going to be even wilder. Oh my goodness. Interesting. Wow. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with me. Thank you for being members of the channel. Thank you for the love and support. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. I'd love to give you a reading. If you're trying to get in for a reading, then you can find the information below this video. Also, if you need a 5-minute reading through Wizio, that information is also below the video. I think that's all I got for you guys. Be well, have fun. Do not fear Trump. I think that we see his days are numbered, as they say. Yes, it looks like dear old Trump may be coming to an end. Oh well. Such is life. Such is life. All right. Be well, everyone. Thanks again. Thank you for your support.